We have an update regarding a murder last weekend in Puposky, Minnesota, north of Bemidji. 21-year-old Scott Schulman of Bemidji has now been charged with second-degree intentional murder and gross misdemeanor assault on a peace officer in the death of 53-year-old Burgess Palmore of Bloomington, Minnesota. According to the criminal complaint, in part, on May 21st, in the early morning hours, Beltrami County Dispatch received a report of a fight in progress at a residence at 1020 Durand Drive Northwest in Puposky. The reporting party indicated that Schulman assaulted a male individual while on While on the phone with the dispatcher, the reporting party stated that Schulman, who had left the residence, was trying to break back into the residence, and then stated that Schulman grabbed a piece of wood. The reporting party then retreated into the house and stated that Schulman eventually struck Palmore with a piece of wood, which he identified as a 2x4. Beltrami County Sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene, and a deputy observed a male individual later identified as Schulman outside of the residence. The deputy observed that Schulman was holding a piece of wood approximately 3 feet in length and approached Schulman and asked him to put down the piece of wood. Schulman turned away from the deputy and began to run toward a nearby tree line. The deputy observed Schulman throw the piece of wood to the ground. The deputy chased Schulman and observed Schulman trip on a barbed wire fence. The deputy and another deputy placed handcuffs on Schulman and placed him under arrest. While being walked back to the squad car, Schulman kicked a deputy in the chest. The deputy went into the residence to make contact with the individuals inside. He was directed to the attached garage, where he observed Palmore laying on the floor on his back. The deputy observed a pool of blood underneath his head. Deputies attempted life-saving measures until the ambulance arrived. Bemidji ambulance arrived on the scene and advised that Palmore was deceased. A preliminary medical examiner's summary, which indicates the manner of death as homicide, being a blunt force trauma to the head. Deputies located the piece of wood Schulman was observed carrying, then observed it to be covered in blood. Deputies also spoke with individuals located in the residence. At 2:47 p.m. on May 21st, investigators took a statement from Schulman. In his statement, Schulman admitted that they'd been drinking vodka. Schulman stated that a bad spirit had gotten him, and he had felt threatened by Schulman, and stated he remembered hitting him with the board in the head several times. He also stated that he hit him in the head with his fist. Schulman stated that he had observed Pullman on the floor of the garage and that he looked pretty bad. He then stated he attempted to leave when law enforcement arrived on the scene. Criminal complaint says Schulman has prior criminal convictions, in part third-degree assault, convictions for theft and fleeing a peace officer, and a conviction for burglary. Again, Scott Schulman has been charged with a second-degree intentional murder. It's a charge that carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.